family and my story matters. So I was always kind of hesitant to volunteer because I found so many situations overwhelming. Like if you look around, there's so much need everywhere. And I was kind of worried based on my place in life with a full-time job and active kids and, just running a household and those kind of things. I was just kind of worried that I get sucked in and it would just become overwhelming. So I was always kind of hesitant to volunteer. So I actually started coming with the kids to pads. They always need a couple adults to help set up the actual pads, and this was an ATF thing. Colin had started, and the kids always signed up to actually make the beds, set up the pads. So one of the first times that I came, we check in at the front desk with Mike, and Mike said to us, "Oh, by the way, before I forget, there's a family coming to pads, so I want you guys to go first and set up the little room behind the office." And I wasn't sure I heard him correctly at first, and I said, "A family?" And he said, "Yeah, there was a family of 5 coming." That was a night that the kids and I had committed to come and set up the pads and then stay and help and serve dinner. And immediately I kind of got I felt like a gut punch. I didn't know if I could do that because I had a hard time wrapping my head around the idea of a family coming to pads. And I started to kind of tear up and choke up, and I got a stomach knot. So we made up the main room, we made up the beds, and then it was time to start serving and to cook the meals. And I just thought to myself, I can't do this. How am I going to react when I see a family come through and get meals at pads? And so they came through the line, and I held it together, and it was a mom and dad and 3 kids. And, then I was like, "Whew, okay, I did that. I made it through." And then it was time to start cleaning up, and I kind of liked being out in the eating area with the residents and things like that. So I went and set up the dish rinsing station. And so I was up there collecting dishes and starting to rinse them, and the 3 kids that came through with the family said, "Can we help?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can help. I mean, how do you say no to 3 kids in a shelter?" And so I was like, "Sure, you can help," and I think we made a way bigger mess than we cleaned up, but we were kind of having a good time. I forgot about the fact that there were 3 kids in the shelter. I think they forgot about the fact that there were 3 kids in the shelter, and we were laughing and goofing around. And Cheryl happened to be serving that night also, and she came by and she said, "You're an angel." And I thought to myself, well, Cheryl knows a lot about kids. I must be doing okay with these kids, On the way home, I realized that I made a difference in those kids' night that night because we did something fun. We goofed around in soapy water. I felt good about volunteering because I realized that night that I don't have to do everything, but I can do something. And again, the need out there is so overwhelming that sometimes you can kind of be, paralyzed by not knowing what you can do or what you should do or how much you can do. But since that PADS experience, I've just come to realize that if we do something, that's good. We don't have to do everything. Another thing that I've learned throughout this, throughout my processes of becoming a servant and a volunteer is that it's okay to say no if something just isn't your jam. Be honest with yourself and try it. I don't think anybody is ever going to hold it against you if you go and volunteer your services or your time and then you realize it's just not something you're passionate about. I think it's kind of just like every other aspect of your life. You have to try it. And if it's not you, then that's okay. Then you know that. But if it is you, it can really bring you a lot of joy. The best that could happen is that you would love it. And it sounds so weird, but I think volunteering does more for me than it does for the people that I benefit or whatever. I mean, I always feel like, because it makes me feel really good, and I do feel like I'm making a difference. Again, I have come to the realization I can't do everything, but I can do something. And so to me, volunteering is a selfish thing because I feel great when I do it. My name is Emily, and this is my story.